YOLO, my fellow Americans. So I was just watching U.S. Attorney General Garland speaking about how they're prosecuting these people called the Oath Keepers for invading our Capitol building, right? But what I really want to know is, what about the agents that were within the crowd that helped instigate that entire event? What about those people? That's what I really want to know about. Is we had people from government within that crowd that helped instigate that whole thing. That essentially, that's a treasonous act, right? If they're saying this was a illegal forced entry of our government building, right? And not just any government building. This isn't like your local courtroom that they just invaded. You know what I'm saying? We only have like 3-4 main American buildings: White House, the Pentagon, and that one, right? Like, what else is there? But if we had government agents within the crowd instigating and following up with an entire event of breaking through and getting in, what about these people? I want to know, what the fuck did government have to do with these people, right? Like, what the fuck did government have to do with doing that? Because that's a treasonous act, dude. Like, that's you're supposed to get lined up and shot for that. And this just seems corrupt as fuck, right? Because, like, I'm a person, I watch a lot of these, like, all these videos of the actual long conversations they have with Congress and this and that, right? Like, I'm a person that actually keeps up on all that stuff. And I'm a person that I watch things like the things that our top generals say. Like a person like General Miley, right? And when Trump he lost his second election, Miley was concerned that he might start a war with some country so that he can enact like, oh, because we're in war, I don't have to get out of office, right? And the concern that it's raising to me is that it seems like all these people are on the left side. They're not on the right. They're not bipartisan. They're not in the middle. They're not acting as if, like it's two wings of a bird. No, they're like hardcore left. So the thing I'm wondering is, like, it's no wonder to anybody that Biden's presidency was a complete failure. He's going down as the worst president in U.S. history. And we just have to be patient enough to wait another 2 years, a year and a half, and most likely Trump will come back in office. And I'm not saying I'm for Trump, I'm against Trump, but what I am against is senile people running this government, right? And the thing I'm worried about is, with all this shit happening with Russia and Ukraine, China and whatever, right? India, all this craziness going on in the world, are these pricks actually gonna do what they said they were afraid of Trump doing? Because up to this point, everything they said in regards to the right is doing this, the right is colluding with, the right is doing blah blah, they were doing it. Every single last word, everything that these pricks have been telling us, like, oh, he's been colluding with Russia. No, you've been colluding with Russia. You've been colluding with Ukraine. Up until last year, no one knew a difference between Ukraine and Russia. It's you and your son. Not to mention all that pedophile shit, like that just got swept under the rug. For the first time in history, someone was sentenced to prison without any victims, without any names named. None of this stuff. It was you guys, you corrupt people. Biden's daughter was like, when I was a kid, up until my teens, I used to shower with my dad I don't know how appropriate that is. That's what she said, not what I'm saying. She said, I don't know how appropriate that is or was, right? Dude, how fucking fucked up is your family? How fucked up are you guys? And are you guys actually going, like, this whole, even the coronavirus shit, man? Like, you guys shut down the #1 country in the world. You guys literally demolished countless countries. There's absolutely no repercussion. There's absolutely no one taking any account or no one forcing any type of accountability. And anything you watch in regards to the Senate hearings and congressional hearings and stuff, they don't talk about none of this shit. They ask the questions, but nothing fucking happens afterwards. What about Fauci and all the money he was getting from Pfizer and from all these other people? Dude, the corruption is so fucking rampant. It's like, how are you guys going to talk about countries like Russia and China and North Korea and all these places being corrupt when you guys are, it's in our face. Like, you cannot lie to us anymore. It's so evident. They think we, the people, are so fucking dumbed down and so retarded. And there's a lot of us out there, not me, but there's a lot of Americans out there that are really dumbed down and retarded. But the majority can read between the lines, can see what's actually happening, can see the bullshit. When you say left and you go right. When you say they're racist and then you do racist shit. When you say they're colluding, and then it turns out you're colluding. When you talk about rapists and child molesters, and then it turns out it's you guys. Like, for fuck's sake, bro. And I'm telling you, man, this old geezer, man, he obviously there's people fucking controlling him from the background. He's senile as fuck, and he's just a puppet, man. And he's like the perfect retarded puppet. He can't fucking talk, so all he has to do is sign papers and shit. So someone in the background is just controlling all this shit. And he's the perfect president in terms of like a puppet president in place. And from all the countries in the world, it's in the United States. We have a fucking puppet as a president, bro. Unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Do you guys even watch any of that shit? Do you guys even give a fuck? Do you guys watch the Senate hearings, the congressional hearings? Do you watch when they ask all these questions and they subpoena people and they just drive in with all these fucking questions? How come this was like this and this was like that? How come there's no accountability and there's this and nothing ends up happening afterwards? Nothing ends up happening afterwards. Dude, I've said it a million times. If you were a pizza boy and you delivered 99 out of 100 pizzas, they would fire you for not delivering that last pizza. They would fire you. Every other American, man, when you speed, they stop you, give you a speeding ticket. When you commit a felony, they arrest you and give a strike, and then they give you a second strike, and then the third strike for stealing a pizza might be 25 to life, which has actually happened. That's actually happened. A dude hit 25 to life because he stole a pizza on his third strike. Okay? We the people, man, we are held accountable for everything. You don't pay your car's lease, they come repo your car. You don't pay for your house, they come kick you out of your house. You're homeless now. When you mess up at work, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you park in the red zone, your bumper's just slightly in the red, man, they'll come and just ticket you for all that shit. There's no accountability. They're raping children, they're raping the country, they're raping me and you, not physically but hypothetically. They literally raped this country to shit. Half the country isn't even fucking working anymore. man. And there's no accountability, and no one gives a fuck, bro. No one gives a fuck. And now they want to hold people accountable, like these oath keepers. I don't even know who they are. I don't give a fuck who they are. Hold them accountable. But what I want to know is, what about the government agents that were within that crowd? What the fuck were they doing there? What are their names, and why aren't they held accountable? And more importantly, there's people in government that had to make sure that building was secure at all times, whether people were there or were not there. It's like, just because the president isn't in the White House doesn't mean you can slack off and let just anybody into the fucking White House. Who was in charge of protecting that building? Who was in it? It's on our money. That building is on our money. It's not some random fucking building that people can just vandalize. You know what I'm saying? It's on our money. That's how important that building was. And they were able to just break in, Just break in, walk around, roam around, and who the fuck knows what. Bro, go try that. Go try that at the local fucking court building. They'll be surrounded by more police officers than you can imagine. There'll be multiple helicopters above. Dude, you're not making it out of that alive. And if you do, you're gonna be sent to like the worst high security prison we have. You might just go to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck did this happen? Who allowed it to happen? It blows my fucking mind. Blows my mind completely, man. And no one gives a fuck. They're so stupid they can't even put two and two together, bro. Obviously they let those people in. Obviously there were government employees amongst that crowd that stirred the pot and guided them in. These were all just political moves. This shit doesn't happen. Americans don't just want to invade the White House or the Pentagon or any of these government buildings. No American in their right mind or out of their right mind wants to do these things. These things don't happen in America, man. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless it's planned that way, unless it's planned for it to be that way. And all I'm saying is, you crooked ass motherfuckers, man, someone needs to hold you pricks accountable. It's unreal, man. It's unreal. I'm not even a person that's into politics. Believe it or not, I'm not a person in politics. But watching this shit is blowing my mind. Like, how asleep are the people of the United States? Do we, the people, really have no power whatsoever? Are we not able to hold anyone accountable? Like, we the people, all the people of the United States, could we not hold these pricks accountable for shutting down the United States and shutting down businesses and not allowing businesses to open? We can't have like a class action lawsuit. Like, you guys pretty much took our livelihood from us. Countless people are losing their businesses that were thriving. Countless people lost their lives. Like, there's unions. There is no class action lawsuit against what they did, shutting down the country. In terms of Pfizer, in terms of all this nonsense, right? Like, in terms of, oh, you need your injection, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth. Turns out none of them do anything for you. There's like no class action lawsuits for that shit. No one is held accountable. Unreal, man. It's unfucking real, dude. All I want is accountability. Look, I'm not a person that's like gung-ho about fucking laws. You know what I'm saying? I'm not this person that, oh my God, you know, this statute, someone violated this statute and this is, dude, but we have some basic rights, right? Like our amendments, our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, our Third Amendment. Like, at least don't violate those, right? at least don't be treasonous. For fuck's sake, do we need like an old school founding father type president to shoot someone in the White House lawn for treason for us to get the hint that, you know what, like, we're Americans and we're not gonna be okay with treasonous acts, no matter who it's coming from. Blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. I'm really seeing so much shit that like, if this was another country, like if this was the USSR, if it was China, if it was any of these countries with dictators, holy shit, man, we would have hundreds, if not thousands, of government officials sent to gulags, lined up and just executed for treason. It's crazy. And I'm not saying, and by no means do not misunderstand what I'm saying as for you to go solve these problems and go and handle it through violence and stuff. By no means, do not get it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they need to be held accountable. We are a country of rules and laws and law and order, and we have all these things, and it needs to go through the right channels, man. No matter who it is, they need to go through the right channels. So do not mistake what I'm saying as like go vigilante fucking mode. By no means am I okay with that. We already had fucking some vigilantes going to one of our main government fucking buildings. Turns out we had government officials amongst them. What the fuck were they doing? Who's accountable? Who's their bosses? Who was in charge of them? I don't know, man. That's my thoughts. You solo, YOLO, bolo. Peace.